I'm going to show you the absolute best stretch for your psoas muscle. What is the psoas muscle? Well, it's the only muscle that connects the upper part of your body with the lower part. And if you have a tight psoas, chances are you're going to have low back pain. Chances are you're going to have poor posture. Chances are your hips are not going to work correctly. Without a psoas, you're going to have a heck of a time getting out of bed. It's virtually almost impossible to get out of bed in the morning. Standing up from a seated position will be difficult. Walking, running will be impossible. Now, if the psoas is tight, keeping your posture erect, keeping your upper body over your lower body without going forward is going to be an issue, because the muscle, I'm going to show you what this looks like right here. The psoas attaches from the lumbar spine as well as the last thoracic vertebra. It comes through your pelvis to your upper leg. Okay, so what it does is it causes the lower leg to come up towards the chest. Okay, so let's see if you can see this right here. So this is what it does right here. It's a hip flexor. Now your thigh muscles are also hip flexors, but the psoas is the most powerful. It's a very large muscle, and without this motion, I mean, think about it. You can't walk, can't run, you can't climb up the stairs. So it could be a major problem if it's not working correctly. Personally, I had a tight psoas without really even knowing it was tight, but it manifests as low back pain because I used to ride my bike for miles and miles and miles up hills, and that was really the only exercise I was doing for about 10 years. And so you can imagine I really built up my hip flexors, but I didn't work on the opposite muscles. The other thing I did at the same time was a lot of sitting. I mean, I would basically sit all day long unless I was at my office. And that's just a killer for the psoas because it keeps it in that contracted state. I'm just curious, how many hours do you sit per day? Go ahead and put that in the comments, because with myself, I think I was sitting for at least 10 hours a day. I mean, that's just way too long to sit. So what happens when the psoas becomes too tight? It really throws off a lot of other muscles, including your glute muscles, and everything starts compensating. And you can watch people who have a tight psoas. They usually are tilted forward. So usually a person will have a tight psoas on one side more than the other side. And it's really important to fix that and keep them both symmetrical. It'll give you so much relief with your low back. And I'm going to walk you through a real simple exercise that I figured out after trying a lot of things that didn't work. And there's just 3 simple steps. And not only am I going to show you how to stretch it out, but also to strengthen it and also to stabilize it. Okay, so it also involves several other muscles and also your upper body. So let's just dive right in and show you exactly how to do this. All right, this is basically what you're going to do. You're going to hyperextend, okay, one side at a time. We'll start with my left side and take that psoas muscle and not just stretch it, but we're going to stabilize it and strengthen it all at the same time. So grab a chair. At first, you're going to have to probably go at your own pace, but you're going to scissors your legs and come right down and keep your upper body as straight as possible. And then take your left leg and straighten out your knee if possible. Okay, so now I'm squatting down with my right leg, which is not easy when you first start out. So of course, go at your own pace. Okay, so we're holding onto a chair and we're just stretching this, and you're just going to count for 10. Okay, you're going to just do this for 10 seconds, and then you're going to do the opposite side. Now, when you do this, you're going to notice which leg or which muscle is tighter, left or right. And obviously, you're going to spend a little more time on the area that's tight, right? And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get symmetry between the left and right side, as well as strengthening the whole dynamic, because these muscles do not work in isolation, okay? They work together. So if we're doing this side, and you do this for a period of time where you're comfortable, then what you do is do step 2, which is simply you're raising your arm. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to stretch all the muscles and ligaments that are in the fascia that's connected to the opposite side. Okay, so you'll do that for 10 seconds. Okay, and then do the opposite side. Over a period of time, when that becomes easier, you add one more layer to this, which is you just bring both arms up without any type of assistance from the chair. And you just focus on your form and your stabilization, and you hold that for 10 to 20 seconds. And you're really just trying to do this until you can do this comfortably. Now, over a course of like 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to find that when you walk, your pelvis, your hips, your gait is now free and open. You're going to find that your low back pain is completely gone. It frees up a lot of tightness in your hips. And at the same time, you're going to find that your low back curve is now in a good position where you actually have a nice cushion in your lower back. So it's going to be overall very, very stabilized. Now, if you haven't seen my first video on the psoas muscle, you should check that out because I go through a series of things to test to see if you need to stretch it. So I put it up right here. Check it out.